Hey everybody, Brent Florica here, and welcome back to Sketchbook B. In this episode, I am going to do my second round of the 6 fan arts challenge. I took some suggestions recently on my Instagram, and I got a lot of feedback this time, and I was really excited about that. So keep an eye out if you're one of those people and see if I chose yours. And thanks again for everybody who gave me ideas. I'm probably going to do more of these in the future. They're just really fun. So hope you enjoy the process. I did the sketching just by hand on paper and then scanned it in to do the inking digitally. I'm trying to get a little bit more practice in with that, and then finished it off with my Copic markers as I typically do, because I don't know, I just enjoy that finished result with the markers and stuff, and for something like this it's just a little bit faster for me at this point to do it that way. So I hope you enjoyed the finished results. I was really happy with this one, and yeah, without further ado, let's get into the process of inking and then coloring. So first off was a character called Planetina from the show Rick and Morty, and this one was a pretty straightforward and simple character. You know, the style of that show is very simplistic, so incorporating it into my style was just adding a little bit more realism as far as the line work and stuff like that. And the hair in particular was very like cartoony, so I needed to make some adjustments there. But yeah, this was a good sort of one to get into the swing of this again, and I had a lot of fun with it, and the color scheme and stuff. It was a really cool character design. Lately, one thing that I've been really trying to improve on is my like facial features, eyes, lips, noses, that kind of thing. And I just find with eyes, like there's so much expression that they hold, and if you screw them up, it really kind of messes up the whole drawing. So I was trying to kind of put some effort into the eyes on these 6 drawings to make sure that they turn out as good as possible. And sometimes that's just more about where to not put line work than where to put line work. And that's just something that I'm kind of learning with practice and by kind of looking at other artists and what they do. And so, you know, it's something that I've been kind of keeping in mind. Moving on to Bane here from Star Wars, and such a cool character. Always really thought he was so cool with his whole Western gunslinger, bounty hunter vibe, and just that low kind of drawl voice and just those red eyes. Really, really cool character design. So this guy was a lot of fun to do, and I combined some different aspects from, you know, the more recent version of him from the Boba Fett show, as well as the kind of more classic version of him from Clone Wars and Rebels, Clone Wars and Bad Batch, I should say. So, you know, a lot of fun piecing this whole thing together, and I was really happy with the result on this one. Moving on now to an original character, actually, that was sent to me by Adrian V. And this is basically a Green Lantern version of Alice in Wonderland. So at least if I'm interpreting it correctly, that's what I was kind of coming away with. And this one I had a lot of fun with. I've always thought the Green Lanterns were super cool, so this was a fun one to kind of adapt and work off of a concept that, isn't in pop culture, but was still really cool. That somebody trusted me to do my own version of their character. That was really cool for me, so I appreciate that, and thank you very much for suggesting your character for me to draw. Hope you enjoy the result. There were a couple things on this one in particular that were really fun. I tried to incorporate some glowing effects. You'll see at the end here I did some color holds on the line work to make, because I wanted those to be sort of illuminated green in the finished colors, and then I took an airbrush afterwards with that same green and sort of went over the line work to kind of add to that glow. Then we move on to the Fantastic Mr. Fox. Kind of one of those characters where it's like I remember seeing this movie, or seeing part of this movie a long time ago, and it was kind of weird for me, that sort of really fuzzy, really textured, stop motion-y almost looking animation. I'm not even sure how best to describe it, but I remember thinking, well, this is kind of interesting, but yeah, just a fun one to do simply because of all of the fur and that kind of thing. Drawing animals can often be really challenging for me that way, because there's so much in the way of line work and detailing to try and capture that. So that was a fun one. Moving on now to Lady Battle Cop, which, if I'm not mistaken, seems to be a pretty direct rip-off of RoboCop. This was from like some movie in the 90s, and really cool suit though. So I thought this one was pretty fun to draw, and anytime you can draw some cool like battle armor and stuff, I don't know, I always enjoy those. So this was a great suggestion, and I enjoyed putting it down on the page here. I hope you enjoyed the final result as well. And this one I found the colors really kind of added something to it, especially kind of achieving that shine off of the helmet, which you'll see a little bit later. Finally, moving on to the last one, suggested by Drawing Arwin, and this is the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, from the Batman comics, movies, etc. I've always kind of enjoyed the Penguin, especially like the Batman animated series version of Penguin and stuff. It's just kind of an interesting character for me. I can't even really put my finger on why. Maybe it's just because he's so like high society and stuff, but I don't know. I always found him kind of fascinating. So I use mostly for reference the version from, I think it's Batman Returns or Batman Forever. I can't remember. I can't remember exactly which one, but one of the old Batman movies. This one was a really kind of creepy version of Penguin and stuff, and that was kind of fun to draw. Something that was a little outside of my normal sort of characters that I draw, to go with a guy who's clearly a villain and definitely on the more sort of creepy side. It was a lot of fun to kind of bring that to life here in my style. Finally, then, we can move on to the coloring phase of things, and of course this is my favorite because this is where everything starts to come to life. So starting with Planetina here, getting in there with the Copics, and very simple color scheme on this one. The sort of hair and parts of the suit are all in the sort of aqua range of colors, and then other than that there's just a bit of sort of pinkish and yellow. So it's a very nice, basically primary color scheme, and I think it works very well. It's simple but effective, and I had a lot of fun with the Copics, kind of adding detail to this that really isn't there on the sort of original design that you would see on the Rick and Morty show. It's got like a very simplified form of shading, and so this one I could put in a little bit more detail and try and bring some three-dimensionality to it. Next up, Cad Bane. So starting with the eyes and getting those right first, and the face, that was the part I kind of really wanted to nail. Obviously, it's kind of the important part of it. I was really happy with just the blues and the intensity and stuff and how that turned out. And then after that, it was basically all just various shades of brown, really, for almost everything else, except his kind of headgear apparatus there. But yeah, I don't know, the markers blend so well on the marker paper and stuff. It's really satisfying to create these gradients from light to dark. And on the coat and stuff, I just had a lot of fun with that, and his super cool, wide brim hat that I always love. It was just a really fun one, and fairly simple as far as coloring goes, but still nonetheless very satisfying to do, and just add in a sort of tan, deserty type background color. Then we go on to Lanternalis, and for this one, because she's a Green Lantern, I was trying to think ahead and think about this glow effect and stuff like that, and how I wanted that to go. So I started with the background just so I can rough out that sort of green aura around her, and then I went back in to start coloring in the actual character itself, so that was already kind of factored in. This was, again, really simple as far as the colors go. It's basically just green, white, and, bits of brown or skin color. So it was, a very simple sort of color palette to work with, but this was a really fun one. I thought this character was just a really cool idea, just a unique, fun idea, so it was a lot of fun to put together. Then we got into one that probably took, it was kind of one of the longest ones to do the coloring for, just because of all the detail with the fur. Had to do kind of multiple passes with multiple colors to try and properly capture sort of the fur, and all of the hairs and things, and make that look right. So I had a lot of fun with it, just kind of worked it again and again and again until I was able to achieve something that I was really happy with. And in the end, this one turned out to be kind of one of my favorites. I actually really liked this one. Very simple color scheme, just shades of orange basically, but very satisfying. Then we get to Lady Battle Cop, of course, and this is lots of metal, lots of silver and stuff like that, and so this was a fun one to do. Layering in this stuff, the hard part was going to be, how do I create this sense of sort of shine? And so you'll see right now as I'm just kind of working in the dark gray into the lighter grays, and just leaving that spot white on the mask. I feel like it really worked well to achieve that sense of like light hitting that and creating that glow effect, and I was really happy with how that one turned out. Then we go on to the Penguin, of course, last but not least. Very simple color palette here. I had to go in with some red and then darken it up around the eyes because it wasn't that intense, but a simple one but a fun one, and I was really happy with just kind of the creepy nature of that character and how it turned out. Thank you so much for joining me at Sketchbook B. Please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Hope you enjoyed this fun little project that we did, and please let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. I'd really be curious to hear your feedback, and also feel free to offer suggestions for future ideas to do for one of these. Like I said, I'm probably going to do more of these in the future. I really enjoy them. They're a lot of fun. So please place your suggestions below, and I'll write them down and maybe do them at a later date. I've got some exciting projects that I'm working on right now that are hopefully going to be coming out as videos very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and also feel free to check out my Instagram and follow me there, as anything that I do kind of art related ends up going on Instagram, whether or not it ends up as a video or not. So feel free to follow me there if you're feeling so inclined. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Take care.